Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cat's Let's Play That. Today, we're taking a look at a game that is near and dear to my heart, Fantasy Zone. What's that? You thought in Space Harrier we just... Did it switch back? Really? I'm sorry, I did not know that the BGM switches back to the regular BGM after a while. So maybe in Space Harrier you didn't even get to hear the sound. But anyway, this is the Fantasy Zone background, which you'll hear very soon. Fantasy Zone. And there's even a built-in rapid fire. It's like a tacit admission by Sega that, hey, maybe they should have added in some auto fire. Otherwise, weapon 1, weapon 2, well, I guess you can't really get auto fire on your bombs. So yeah, this will be an interesting game because we get to just use the top buttons. No more of these bottom buttons. This is nonsense. Alright, so let's explain Fantasy Zone to somebody who's never seen it before. Okay, so you have two different types of shot. You have the normal shot, and you can shoot little bombs. We are collecting money, and what do you do with money? Obviously, you spend it as quick and as much as you can. Alright, so I will be playing it safe. I'm buying some big wings, because again, and I will be buying some twin bombs. And I will look wondrously, or I will gaze lovingly at these items we cannot yet afford. But what's that, you might be asking? Look at all of, well, okay, not the rocket engines, but look at these guns. Laser beams, wide beams, 7-way shots. Don't those sound very appetizing? But here's the catch. They only give you that shot for a limited amount of time. Also, remember, you have to equip it or you lose it. Dragon Quest, baby. Anyway. So, yeah, if you buy any of those sweet guns, I mean, yeah, you get those guns for a little while, but then the fun time ends, and it goes away. And then all of a sudden, you're left with this pea shooter. And it's like, well, if you're just going to be stuck with this poor little guy anyway, you might as well learn how to use it. And I mean, again, it's not so bad. Alright, and so the objective of Fantasy Zone, which is kind of funny, because for a game that looks as crazy as this, you think, hey, I bet the objective is just as unimaginably ridiculous as this game. However, no, the objective is fairly mundane. It is to kill all the bases. And once you've killed all the bases, you have to kill the boss. Now, the deal with this boss is you have to shoot him in the mouth. That sounds very easy until you realize that's also where he shoots you from. And so, I mean, I hesitate to call it a trick. Also, there's how you collect most of the money. I hesitate to call it a trick, but one thing you can do, let's see, so jet engine is 1,000, turbo engine is 10k, I mean, yeah, maybe I could afford it, I guess I can just not afford it, but, oh, no, yeah, see how there's that X1, yeah, you probably only, yeah. Well, I mean, when do you ever use swim bombs? But yeah, not even the bombs are immune to this. Okay, wow. Yeah, these are maybe a little too fast. Sell. Oh, I see. Because I wasted my thing. So it's like, yeah, there's no helping your stupidity. But at the very least, we can help your loadout and give you twin bombs again. How nice of the game. I'd like to lie to myself and say that I could have reacted in time, but no, I reacted just as it hit me. There was no helping that. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but these little bases, they've got little arms just kind of hanging out there. I feel like that's a touch that's not necessarily in the Genesis versions, although I don't believe there was ever a Genesis version of this game. Heavy bombs or no. Maybe I'm just thinking of Super Fantasy Zone, but, well, at least there were a few additional things to buy. Like, one of the worlds you go to is an electricity world, full of harmful electricity on the ground. It's not such a big deal, I mean, unless you ever plan on landing on the ground at some point in time. But what you could do is you could buy some cute little boots for your little, Opa Opa. That is what it is called. You don't even have to disbelieve me on that this time. It is actually called an Opa Opa. Oh. Talk about an Opa Opa. But anyway, yeah, little guy's called Opa Opa. I mean, I don't know how you would look at this game and be like, I expected a normal name like a Space Egret 5. Nope, Opa Opa. That sounds about right. Let's see. What's the boss for this one? Ah, yes. And then he rockets stuff out on top at you. Now, you'd think that this would be easy to dodge. It's not a bullet hell shmup. Like, your ship is pretty big. So you do actually have to seek out the free spots. Now, usually, there's a free enough spot that you can work your way towards, but if you're not able to see it fast enough, then, well, I guess the next best thing is to improvise. Oh, well, and already, he's gone. I'd say he barely put up a fight, but I mean, he did put up a fight, and I am running a little low on power-ups. On the bright side, I'm a cheap date, and I just go for those. I stare lovingly at the extra ship. I dream of the day I can afford an extra... Oh, the game knew. It's like, hey man, you've got a game to play. You should probably get on going there. Fine. I will continue. But the extra ship will be mine. All I have to do is not die. It's kind of funny to think that way. And it's also kind of funny, so it's like, okay, yeah, you collect enough points, you collect enough score, you get an extra life. That's how it usually works in other video games. But in Fantasy Zone, they're like, nope, gotta buy your own. Welcome to capitalism, kids. I mean, you've already gotten a crash course with the quarters you had to put into this machine. That is rare footage of me actually using bombs to good effect. You already had to put a quarter into the machine, but you know what? Maybe you're too young to get it. Maybe it needs to be beaten into your fresh, impressionable young mind. But we live in a capitalistic society where you need to pay for everything. Okay, wow. This boss is like, okay, does he start from the top or the bottom? Because if he starts from the one you're at, you are not in for a good time. If he starts at the opposite one, you are in for the best time imaginable. Oh, and it's game over. These sounds, though, like the game over sound is one thing, but then you've got the name entry screen sound, and it's like, that's one of those sounds that's so good. It's like, I don't even want to enter my name. I just want to chill here for a while. Outrun also kind of had the same thing going on. Continue! Yes. Please. The arcade version has continue? What? How was I not aware of this? I guess I've never really played the arcade version, and in fact, the only real chance I had to play the arcade version was on what? There was some sort of Sega Genesis collection for the Xbox 360 back in the day, and that's how I got my Fantasy Zone fix. It was not much of one, but, you know, you do what you can. I also played a lot of Super Fantasy Zone for the Sega Genesis. You might be saying, hey, I never heard of that one. That one never came out. Yeah, that's right, I did misspeak. It actually came out on the Sega Mega Drive. Sega Genesis, what's that? European people don't have that. Anyway, yeah, they released the Japanese version and the European version. European versions even in English. Did they release it in the US? Of course not. Why would you bother? Who would be interested in Fantasy Zone? Okay. These lasers are very annoying, not because they're hard to dodge, but because they're incredibly easy to dodge. So that lulls you into a false sense of security, so you're like, oh yeah, I can handle that, no problem. Well, you can't. You can't out-dodge the lasers. But on the bright side... So it seems like they got a little smarter, but you know what? Speaking of getting smarter, I'm going to show you what is called a pro strat. I am going to use my bombs. Oh, that's right, I lost my double bomb. That's okay. Oh yeah, fun fact about the bombs. Oh my gosh, that could have turned out very poorly very quickly. Fun fact about the bombs, they change trajectory based on your speed. This usually is a cute quirk, but when you're trying to hit a precision target like that, but also not get hit by a precision target like that, then, oh, the money resets, so I can buy all the extra lives I want, even though I already know there's a continue feature. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So this stage pretends to mix it up by having the guys all in the bottom, which you'd think that would make a difference. It doesn't. I mean, it slows you down a little bit, which, okay, now that sounds like it wouldn't make a difference. But as it turns out, the most dangerous part about this game are these unpredictable enemies, because they are like complete random, and they are just, Sega just tosses them at you like they're free. I mean, I guess the arcade hardware is fast enough that it kind of is. Dude, look at those guys. If I was a little bit slower, I'd be in the middle of that thing and shot 6 times the Sunday. As it is, I'm only barely alive, but yeah, no, this, you should not underestimate the popcorn enemies here. And I mean, yeah, sure, each of them dies in one hit, just like you'd kind of semi-expect. And I swear, I got shot by the base. I know, an enemy came out and spawned just right then and shot me. But still, sometimes I like to believe my illogical intuitions. But anyway, so yeah. That being said, you can work your way through it. Not always without some kerfuffle, but usually it's just fine. And yeah, the enemies give you items or money, and it's like, don't take it. It's a trap. Okay, I don't remember you, but it's not like bosses in this game are terribly difficult. You know, once you get past your first few Tohos, I guess I've really only played the one, this boss is not actually that difficult. And I mean, I mentioned Toho just because his shots are going real slow. Like, this is bullet hell speeds. This is like easy mode. I could do this in my sleep. And you think about it, the bases are pretty easy. They just stayed on the bottom. Like, they didn't even do anything. And then here's this guy. There's got to be some sort of trick, right? Oh, I see. You have to hit every single part of the arm. You can't just dodge like some sort of dodging machine. You have to attack sometimes, like some sort of, I don't know, specially engineered bioweapon. This is not necessarily to imply that Opa Opa is a specially engineered bioweapon. However, he does seem to be semi-sentient, and he does seem to wreak a lot of havoc. Coincidence? Probably, yeah. I mean, who knows how this space world works. Oh, and I thought it ended in tears, but instead it ended in gold. But not enough gold. Alright, and we're at round 5, 6? I don't know. For some reason my TV cuts off the top and the bottom of the game. I don't know how I set that setting either, but, well, as the saying goes, this is fine. This is fine. And we're getting real big paydays. 5K. All I need to do is kill a few of these defender guys, and I'll never have to work another day in my life. Ever again. Oh man. But believe you me, you're gonna pay to get those things. Wow. I mean, they pay big money, but big money don't come free. Yeah. The enemies, there's just so many, and they come at you sort of randomly. And I mean, yeah, you can try and stop and deal with them, but then another batch is gonna spawn, and it's like you're just right back at the same place. There is no helping this. Alright. Let's mix it up and go the other way. That's a trick I like to do every now and then, just... It's so pretty, though. It's so pretty. You wouldn't think this color combination goes together, but it kind of does. It kind of does. And here we go. Wow. It didn't even clear the shots away from you. That's how much this game dislikes you. But you can see how much I love this game, because even though the game is throwing everything but the kitchen sink, actually, I think one of the guys does throw a kitchen sink. I'm in all the credits, man. Just let me continue. Let me continue, please. Okay, if I remember correctly, it has you enter your name first, but then it should let you continue, right? Like, I am on full alert, hands on start, yes, continue play, yes. And with that done, we can continue back to a laid-back, happy, fun game. It's kind of funny, because it's like, yeah, on one hand, It's a nice, fun, cute 'em up. Not even an issue. And yet, oh my gosh. Look at those guys. Like, you can't make it past them. They just completely forced my hand. I was going to go for that base on the left, but they just completely said no. And I really did not have much to answer with. Oh my gosh. And of course, my one-track mind, I'm going straight for that base. And while I'm doing that, they are just able to spawn, able to fill the screen with enemies, with shots. At this point, the enemies are the shots. It is very hard to distinguish them. Also, may be my imagination, but I believe it is taking even longer to beat those bases. Oh, I should have just stayed on the ground, but... I mean, I say that, but it's not like staying on the ground was a surefire ticket to victory. They're just coming at you from all corners. Well, at least the music is nice and relaxing, even if the gameplay has long since ceased to be. Okay. Although you gotta respect this game for, like, basically having no technical limitations. I mean, a lot of games, they'll just limit the amount of sprites on screen, but this game, it's like, nah, we're Sega, we figured out how to do this. Have I never actually gotten to this boss? Okay, this boss is interesting because it seems easy, although there does seem to be a bit of left and right dodging that you have to do. Also, they seem to be doing some sort of reverse asteroids where they're combining together as you damage them, making bigger shots, which, I mean, honestly, I can't even really look at the right side of the screen. What is, and it's, oh. And because I revived, now I get to fight them with no power-ups. It's not actually as bad as you might think, because this is definitely an area where precision is far preferred over speed. So the fact that I'm moving at a bullet hell ship speed, well, like the bullet hell laser ship speed, that's not really a problem, because the bullets are moving at bullet hell boss laser speed. Wow. I will say though, this is incredibly satisfying, just kind of bobbing and weaving through those snowman guys' shots. It's unfortunate that the game kind of runs so slow that if I died here, then if I somehow messed up, I don't know that I would want to continue through this. I also like how continue play defaults on no. And it's like, Sega, you gotta realize, when in the history of ever has somebody put all those credits in and be like, nah, I don't want to continue. I mean, you can just wait 10 seconds and then fill out the continue later. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's probably a trick where you're not supposed to, where you're supposed to, like, concentrate your shots in a certain way. Oh my. Good golly. The last guy shot so, like, 3 times as fast. That is absurd. And there's more. I mean, I knew in my heart there would be more, but I kind of wished in my fingers there wouldn't be. Extra life. That being said, we've got to be kind of close to the end. There is an entire row of enemies. I mean, I feel at this point, I shouldn't even go for the gold. I should just be bobbing, weaving, killing enemies, anything. Like, why am I not filling the screen with bombs? I mean, the enemies would do the same to me. At this point, this is almost a contact sport. Like, good gosh. Enemies here, enemies there. I don't know what I was gonna say. I mean, you gotta give my brain a break sometimes. I can't just be talking my way nonstop through this white knuckle action and talk forever. Well, the cue is you just kind of, or the trick is to just queue up some talk. Are you seeing this bullet pattern? Like, I mean, I assume you are. It's hard to see anything but. That is an entire screen full of bullets, and usually... what? And the best part is, because they move so slow, like, I'm not immediately intimidated by the bullets. I mean, I know I'm not in for a good time, but at the same time, like, it seems very doable. Oh man. And you've got to just strafe, and then maybe you'll be lucky enough to shoot. Okay, I don't know why I've been eschewing these 7-way weapons. Okay, I think it's time to give in to the lull of capitalism and just use those weapons. I know it may be inefficient, but at a certain point, you have to give up and admit to yourself that this is the only way you're going to be making progress. Well, if we're going to waste our money, we might as well waste our money in style with a 7-way shot. Hopefully this is as good as it is expensive. Oh baby, oh baby. But just in case you thought you were immortal, we've got a memento mori in the upper right-hand corner. Wow, this... I almost feel guilty about doing this, but like, have you seen how many shots there are coming at me? Oh wow. Okay. So I mean, it lasted about as long as it needed to, but not a second longer. And the worst part too is even if I was able to miraculously beat that final base, like, you still have to defeat all the enemies on screen in order to make it to the next stage. Alright, let's continue. I'm gonna... You know I'm liking the game because I'm gonna be extra careful with the continues. I say 7-way shot is a waste. Let's play it safe. I like though how playing this game, especially with continues, then all of a sudden like you have to start doing this mental calculus where you're like, well, I could buy the 7-way shot now, but then I'd run out of money for my next life, and then I kind of want to save some money for the next stage, maybe. And so all of a sudden, it's like quarters, 7-way shots, power-ups. It's all game. It's all resources you've got at your disposal, and you've got to keep it all in mind. Hopefully this boss is about as trivial as they usually are. That is one thing I kind of dislike about this game, and that is some of these bosses, when they spawn, they'll do that, and it's just you cannot do anything about that. The boss has decreed that you are not going to have a good time, and lo and behold, you are not going to have a good time. Let's see. And just like Sisyphus, we are trapped in our eternal toil. However, unlike Sisyphus, we have some bombs that we could potentially make use of. Okay, I don't know that bombing is necessarily going to save me anything. Wow, this is like the easiest hard boss I've ever played, or the hardest easy boss I've ever played. Like, all you have to do is be patient. I mean, granted, being patient is its own challenge, but good gosh. Hardest thing, oh, because he speeds up as he goes. I was wondering why it was being so easy, if by easy you mean borderline impossible. And it's almost certainly based on how much you're shooting him. So I think what that means is I need to make the most of what I can do. Okay. Alright. I mean, he's going faster, but if I know to expect it. It's not so bad, actually. It's not so bad. I mean, come on. 8 stages. There's got to be an even number of stages. Those are the rules. Well, I could go for an extra ship. Well, it's so cheap. But I'm feeling like, yeah, at this point in time, if you're not buying 7-way shots, you are just buying a ticket to death. And frankly, even with those 7-way shots, I'm pretty sure we're going to have our share of kerfuffle. But now it's a speed run. Got to speed run our way to make the most use of the 7-way shot. I don't know. Do you think we can kill them all in time? Oh well, the enemies will see to it that we cannot. But how do we do? All but 3. I can live with that. Mostly because I'm living with that. Oh my gosh. And they're just U-turning, like... like it's no big deal. I also like how they're starting to bunch up the bases on you. Why? Why? No, why? Just to make it harder, but... why is it that the enemies are allowed to use smarts and cunning against me when I am so woefully unequipped? And that's a boss. 7-way shot, race to the end. And that's... I mean, on one hand, the 3D aspect of this is, like, incredible. I'm kind of impressed how they're able to make it look so 3D. I just know that I figured out the boss's pattern. Also, I think I have the big wing speed up still. That wasn't so bad. Doing that without powers? I would not want to do that. I wasn't able to talk about it, but did you see the scaling on the wings, or on the pieces? As they kind of... Wait, what? So I've never actually made it this far, because I've never... Oh yeah, 7-way shot got more expensive, but that just means it's worth buying. Oh no. Oh no. It's a boss rush. And I wasted my 7-way shot. Hopefully it'll save your progress, or at least... No, yeah. Well, that's whatever. I beat most of these guys with my original shot, not necessarily because I intended to. I can do it again. Oh. So the game lets you do this. The only catch is... Where's it gonna start me? Where's it gonna start me? Oh! Oh! So you can just kind of like credit feed your way to the end. Although I do feel like the bosses are the slightest bit harder each time. Like, this one you saw with the shots that it was shooting out. They were, like, there's nowhere near as big a hole. But I guess also, too, because you're guaranteed to have the speed wings of some kind, then I suppose it is more of a fair fight. Oh, I barely have enough for my cheapo combo. You know what? This is white knuckle action. Save data 1. Forget that. It's save data this. Alright, let's continue again. I am so close to beating this game. I really like this game. I've got the time. I might as well commit the crime. Oh, and we're lucky ducky. Huh. I wonder if, like, because you chose the 7-way shot, top or bottom, top. I wonder if because you chose the 7-way shot, then it gets a little bit harder. And so it's one of those times when you just gotta slow down and not use all the tools at your disposal. Okay, now sooner or later, we're gonna have to work our way up and then start bombing him. That is like one safe way. I don't think he'd wise up to this strategy sooner or later. But looks like we're going to live another day. Although that was a little bit closer than I would have suspected. Okay, let's see if this guy's learned a new trick. Or if it's just the same. Oh, that's weird! So in the boss battle, now you can turn left. I never wanted to at any point in time, but I guess now I can. Fantastic. Is it me, or is this guy, like, even easier than he was before? Maybe it's just because, like, after the snowmen, then, like, anything is easy. Come on, get your wiggling arms out of the way. You know you want to lose to me. It's no shame losing to the best player alive. Alright, back to the snowmen. It's like in Top Gear Rally when, or Top Gear when, like, Richard Hammond was like, oh yeah, I am a racing god, and they gave him no end of crap for it. Oh. Game over. How much money do you think I start with when I respawn? And high score. Well, if you're going to bribe me, that is a good way to do it. I don't know what it is about the name entry screen, but it does seem very, very pliant. Oh. Oh. Because they don't drop any money. I may have made a slight miscalculation. Nobody drops any money in this game. So you were pretty much just forced to live off of your savings until either you go bankrupt or until you find a job. I am not speaking from personal experience. Okay, well, who needs bombs? All we need is a little bit of extra weight. Okay, I wish I had known that, because now that makes my decision to completely waste all of those extra, all my money on 7-way shots and extra 1-ups. I mean, I can buy 1-ups with quarters, and quarters are free. Don't think about that one too hard. Then I could have made my way through this. Interesting. Okay, okay. Oh, that was a little impossible, I'd say. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I was supposed to do with that. Okay, so I've got, like, what, 13 more lives? Now, thankfully, I did have the foresight to make a save state, so maybe we can just save state abuse our way through this. But, I mean, credit feeding is one thing, and it is only dishonorable to some extent. We're really using a save state? It's kind of like next level, but I guess if you think about it, what are we really trivializing here? Also, it's not even letting me just aim to the right. Doesn't even give you any extra money when you put in some real money. Like, what is this nonsense? I'm putting in good money to continue this game. At the very least, I expect some fake game money in compensation. Well, you know what? I had a good thing going. Just hanging out completely to the left. Just concentrating my shots in one area. So, let's stick with that strategy. Oh. Can you just straight up not even damage the enemy unless you, like, get rid of all of the small guys first? Is that the thing that I accidentally did and trivialized? Huh. I mean, I guess you can't, huh? Yeah, I guess you really can't go to the next phase until you beat the previous one, which is a little annoying, but I guess those are the rules. And, oh my god, did you see that? Nothing but saw that. Man, why was this boss so easy the first time around? Although I think having a fixed position on screen does actually help a fair bit with this sort of thing. Okay. Let's cheat our way back up. And we'll cheat our way back down. And we'll cheat our way back up. Just not fast enough. Just the slightest bit not fast enough. But you know what? I can taste it. I can taste victory. And if I remember correctly, this was like the last boss anyway. So you know what? We got this. We got this in the bag. Okay, I remember there was some boss that came after this. Didn't we trivialize it by just using the 7-way shot? That was a silly choice in retrospect. Should have trained the right way so that we'd be ready for the final boss rush. Man, if I knew this game ended in a final boss rush like this, I might have liked it less. But I guess you can continue, so 6, 1 dozen, 7.5 the other. It's just getting to me. The pressure is getting to me. It kind of, well, it's no longer easy. I don't know. I remember this game being easier. Okay. And yeah, maybe I wasn't able to talk my way through it. Oh, this guy. Mother of... Okay, okay. I gotcha, I gotcha. I respect you. I respect you. Alright. You know what? That's fine. We don't need to input our name here. Well, you know what? This is going to take a while. So just in case, just in case. I mean, you never know. You never know. Alright. Let's show this guy what's what. You know, it just occurs to me. I think they changed around the location of where the fire spawns from. And so previously you thought, like, the one place was the safe spot. Well, I'm glad it rotates the exact same way, because... Oh, I'm not used to the speed because I'm not used to having this power-up on... Is it giving me less time to choose? I guess it kind of knows that, like, this is literally all I can spend my money on, so once I buy it, then it's like, okay, that's all you get. I see. I do swear that the fire spawns in a different way, but I think also, yeah, having the big wings kind of affects, like, all your distance and timing and all that. This is so weird. It is kind of doable, kind of not, and I'm leading it. Oh my gosh. And the worst part is, yeah, because you can literally only buy this, so that's why it's booting me out. And the worst part is, like, after this is the final boss, and I mean, yeah, beating this guy, grinding through it. Okay, you know what? Let's save some big wings for the final boss, because this guy, I don't know. The timing, I just don't need the super fast timing. We'll see if I live to regret those words. But this is like one of those bosses where just being able to get that precision movement is kind of important. Terrible though, because like in order to move fast you have to move close to the middle, but that's the danger zone, and you have to remember to change your orientation. Alright, oh, it's this guy, that's right, but he's easy just so long as you know what you're doing. Quick little breather before the final boss. Alright, now for the true final boss. Hyperspeed. I expected nothing. It's a giant Opa Opa! Okay, I'm going to be listening to this I'm going to be looking up this music on YouTube and listening to it later. Like, holy cow. Plus, the boss is a giant Opa Opa. I was not expecting this at all. This is amazing. Ooh, that one was a little close. So what happens when he gets too close? That's thankfully a question we won't have to answer. What is this nonsense? Oh my god. I love this boss though because he's so high concept and yet he's also high execution. Let's see. So, okay, which save do I want to overwrite? Let's overwrite this save, because this was our make it as far as we can save anyway. Somewhat fortuitous. And we made that save. No! It didn't let me respawn! What? What? And I just saved over the save that would have... Okay, okay. Where is this save from? Where is this save from? Okay, wow. Okay. I don't want it that bad. So that was the final boss. The final boss that attacks you using like all the BS imaginable in the world. And the final boss that you can't even continue against, so you can't even like practice and like try and figure out his weaknesses. But that was amazing. Even though I totally got skunked by that final boss, that was amazing. I just love that high concept boss, because it's like, yeah, I mean, a lot of these bosses, you just shoot them in the body, and it's like, well, I mean, shooting them in the body is fun and all, but I kind of want something that's maybe a little trickier, a little more difficult. Because you look at that spinning boss, well, the spinning boss is, like, with the spinning giant fire sticks, it is incredible. Okay, wow. Okay. We need to do something about this sound. Okay. Tell you what. Let's compromise. Because there we go. See? It's basically just like we were in the beginning. Yeah. Just like we're playing it. But anyway, I kind of like that high concept boss, because it's like, yeah, a lot of these bosses, I mean, you just shoot them and you move on, and it's like, it's nice, but it's a little bit kind of repetitive. But then you play against this guy where you have to shoot the things that are flying out of his mouth, and they're flying up, down, left, right, and you have to defeat each one, and like, you know exactly what it is you have to do. It's not easy, but you know exactly what it is you have to do. I kind of love that. I kind of love that. Like, you just take one look at that boss and you're like, I know what I have to do. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I don't think I can do it. But I'm going to do it. Well, me, I'm not going to do it right now. Maybe I'll come back to this game and try it again. But man, that was awesome. I didn't know there was so much to this game, and I already saw a bit of the game, and I liked what I saw. But I did not know there was so much more to this game. I kind of love that about Sega. You get to like this final level and it just completely just changes the game on you. And it's like, I'm almost starting to wonder, because like my hero, you make it through stage 1 and it's like, bam, now you're in Ninja Times. It's like, what? I did not expect this. And so you get to Fantasy Zone, you get to the final boss. It's an Opa Opa! And it's like, I'm beginning to wonder if, yeah, you just expect Sega to have twists. Oh man, I kind of love how in these 80s, like, Sega was like the dominant arcade maker, and it's like, oh yeah, Sega is gonna last forever, and then you have somebody from the future who knows about their Dreamcast, and they're like, yeah, that's cute, you keep thinking that, kid, you keep thinking that, kid. Although, I mean, here I am saying, it's like, oh yeah, Sega won't last forever, but I mean, Sega's still around. I mean, they made the Astro City Mini, and it's like, on one hand, like, yeah, Sega isn't necessarily in a position to like make their own consoles. They're not in a position to make so many of their own games or whatever. But isn't that almost kind of a better place for them to be? Because they make these things like this Astro City Mini, and they make them because they sincerely appreciate it. They sincerely appreciated, well, I mean, one, the market position they were at that time, but also that era and what it kind of brought to video games. And so here they are, just completely looking back nostalgically on the same era that you are looking back nostalgically on. And let's change it back. And did it actually change back? Yeah, there we go. And so Sega's looking back nostalgically on the same era that you are looking back nostalgically on. And it's like they're willing to treat this this era with the due reverence it deserves, because quite frankly, that's all they have. That's all they have, this sort sort of nostalgia for the past. And so, yeah, that's where Sega is. Now, I mean, again, yeah, they're kind of surviving to this very day, and they're still making games, but I don't know, some of their, like, what are their big franchises? Like Yakuza and Total War or something? And I'm pretty sure Total War they just bought off someone else. I don't even, you can't even in good faith say Sonic is still a relevant franchise. Just watch there be a good Sonic game released in the next year. Prove me wrong, Sega. Prove me wrong. But, I mean, where they're at now is nice. It's not bad, but it's not, like, if you drew a line, like, you drew some points where they were back then, drew a line, traced into the future, it's not where I expected them to be. And they're not, like, holding on to all of these franchises they had for dear life. Of course, you've got Capcom doing Ghouls and Ghosts Resurrected. I'm pretty sure that sold gangbusters. You've got Konami trying to do the same thing with their Genso Fumaden or whatever, and it's like nobody's heard of this game. Well, at least outside of Japan. I don't know how well that's going to do, but it's probably going to do well enough. So next thing up is Sega. So what are they going to do? What franchise are they going to look back? Maybe it'll be a franchise on this Astro City Mini, and they're like, let's take a look at all these streamers, see what games they play, see what games they enjoy the most, and let's see what kind of game we should make into this retro throwback semi-roguelike, semi-side-scroller with awesome hand-drawn art game, Resurrected. What can we do? Well, you know what, Sega? I have some advice for you. Fantasy Zone. Fantasy Zone. Just do Fantasy Zone. No more, no less. Well, hopefully that earwig in Sega's ear is not imaginary, but in case it is, this cat's gotta start writing some petitions to Sega. Come on, Fantasy Zone Resurrected. You know you want to, Sega. You know you want to.